Hi, I'm Paul Vunak. Welcome to Attributes 3. Attributes are qualities, okay? Qualities are the things that make up a street fighter. Your heart, your power, your strength, your killer instinct, your timing. Without these qualities, techniques mean nothing. This is why Bruce used the word petty technique. Petty meaning techniques are not what win fights. If they were, all you'd have to do is watch an NBA game, watch the techniques that they use, and say, okay, well, now I can play. But that's not how it works. You have to be able to train it. And what it is you're training are not the techniques so much, but the attributes. And these attributes are going to make the techniques work. So with that in mind, the purpose of this tape, Attributes 3, is to teach you how to truly do JKD. Because we have people all over the country kickboxing, saying they're doing JKD. Kickboxing is not JKD. JKD is way of intercepting. It's not way of kickboxing. So if we want to intercept, and why would we want to intercept in the first place? So we can get into trapping range and take somebody out of commission. And it's very, very difficult to get into trapping range if you don't intercept. So if we want to intercept, we have to have a training method. You can't just come along and tell somebody, hey, go intercept, Joe. It won't happen. You'll have two people standing in the center of the ring, duking it out. And guess the news. When that happens, usually the bigger guy wins. That's why they have weight divisions. On the other hand, if you intercept, somebody comes at you, boom, you're throwing a high jab at them, and you borrow that moment to come in and straight blast, and then go in with the headbutts, knees, and elbows, well, now we're cooking. So we have to intercept in order to get into our game. And that's what this tape is about. Now, you have people out there that are very fast, and they can throw a very fast jab, and they have a good structure. If you have to fight that person, they're a little bit more difficult to intercept. So this is where Dan came into play and said, we're going to learn how to destroy the limbs. So if that fast jab comes, you're certainly not going to intercept it with a spin kick, okay? You will destroy it. Or if that kick comes, or if this kick comes, or any angle that comes, you destroy. So we're talking about intercepting and destroying. These are the two main points. We have others that we're going to list. So this tape is a tape of training methods to teach you how to go from kickboxing to truly intercepting. Now hang with me. Now where we left off was teaching you how to intercept and how to destroy. You need a training method for that. In order to intercept or destroy somebody, first of all, you have to do it out of the correct range. I don't know many people that fight from that range. Everybody fights too close. If they're boxers, they get too close. If they're kickboxers, they get too close. Why? Because it's a sport. And to have a sport, you need two people in the center of the ring duking it out. One guy hits, one guy covers, one guy hits, one guy covers, like two rock'em sock'em robots. And who wins on those types of fights? The bigger, stronger guy. Again, that's why we have weight divisions. For us to intercept, we have to be a little bit further than where they fight from. We need a little bit of time to see the blow coming, so we don't just boom, just parry it. Because sometimes if you're too close, the quickest thing you can do against that jab is parry it, bam, and fire your jab back. Okay? Now what are we doing? We're duking it out. So we need to be in a different range. Now granted, I want to fight you in trapping range if we're going to fight. I wish all my fights, Patrick, started right here. Okay? That would just make my day, but they don't. Okay? We have to break our way in. And to break your way in takes a progression. The first concept of the progression is that you understand distancing. If you, again, Patrick, are this close, and he jabs me, I jab him, and he crosses me, I cross him, and we're just sitting here basically duking it out, you have no possibility of ever intercepting anything. You need to be further away. Now, the next thing you're going to say is, well, if I'm that far away, how can I ever hit him? Well, that's why Bruce spent so much time developing those two shuffles. They're very, very basic, but they're not used very often. It's a step and slide or a slide step. Either, boom, you shuffle this way, like a fencer, or you replace your foot by shuffling this way. It's more of a pendulum type shuffle. So we're out in a range where we can shuffle and hit his eyes or kick his balls. But he, on the other hand, has to encroach on us to get to us. He hasn't spent an hour and a half or 2 hours a day doing that shuffle until he has developed it down to a pat. We have. So when this person encroaches, well, guess the news, they get intercepted. So this is how we intercept. So before we can move on to our next segment, we need to do the two basic shuffles. I hate to digress, but this is important. So the first shuffle that I want you to do is just stand right here and just push forward. Boom. That's all I want you to do. Over and over again. Just boom. And from this position here, you pretend like there's a little box right here. And you're replacing one foot with the other. Boom. That's all I want you to do. Give me a right lead. Normally, we couldn't possibly hit each other out here. And if he came in with a side kick, okay, I'd intercept him anyway. Or if he comes in with a jab, boom, he's going to get intercepted before that jab ever comes. Or he comes in again, it's going to be bam, right to the groin. So that's the whole point. I'm at a position where anything he comes to me is going to get blown away. But me, on the other hand, boom, I can come to him because I've developed my shuffle. And the whole point of this is, again, to get into trapping range. So what I want you to do is work the step and slide and the slide step. Now that we understand that in order to intercept or destroy, we have to be out in a further range. That's the timing, that's the distancing. Now we can start the VU scale. All this is, and again, I don't want you to think we're digressing down to a point system, okay? But this is a way to reprioritize your brains. We want to change your perception. Right now, it is so important to you to hit each other that you're never ever intercepting. And if you never intercept, you can't enter. And if you can't enter, you can't headbutt knee or elbow. Conversely, if you intercept somebody and they're here in pain and then you blast, then you can go through your whole routine. So as long as you're just duking it out, you'll never ever be able to fight outside of your weight class. That's why this is so important. Remember, Bruce Lee was 128 pounds. Okay? Dan Inosanto, he's not a big man. Okay? But these people can go through a big man like a hot knife through butter because they have a formula. And what we want to do is give you a way to train this instead of just saying, hey, go out and intercept. We're going to give you a formula. And I'm going to put that formula on a point system. Okay? It's called the VU scale. Well, I don't know what to call it. Okay? Okay, now, when you spar, or when your students spar, if I'm speaking to instructors, generally speaking, sparring night is that night where you can kind of cut the air and with a butter knife, and everyone's heart's kind of like this, and there's that tension. Well, this kind of takes all that out of the air. Takes all the tension, and it turns all that sparring and that heavy-duty shit into a chess match. And then later, when you want to get barbaric, that happens, but that's the second phase. Okay, so for sparring, now it turns more into a chess match. The very first thing on the VU scale that is most important to us is that we can intercept each other. That's why I say I want to change your priority. It's too important for you right now to hit this guy in the face or him to hit you in the face. That's the biggest thing in your world, okay? You do that to a 6'8" large person pissed off, and they don't even know they're in a fight. You have to get into trapping range. You have to drive your knee in their groin, or you're not going to win. If you don't thumb their eyes and headbutt them, you can forget it. So duking it out only works against guys your size. So instead of that, The most important thing we want you to do is intercept. Okay? Interception. Number one. That's it. That's more important than hitting. So when you're out in the range that we spoke of, and if you pull off an interception, you get 5 points for it. Okay? So what I would like you to do as the instructors of the world is to have a board up and to have your students spar and actually give them points. And it becomes a game. It becomes fun. Oh, good, 5 points, all right. Oh, you got 3. Okay? So it becomes a fun game. But while that fun game is happening, what we're doing with our psychology is we're trying to prioritize your brain into, bam, I'd rather intercept than just come in and slug this guy in the face. So we're going to play this point system for a while, and after about 6 months of it, you can throw it away and never look at it again. But we will have done our duty, reprioritized onto what is really important to you. Doing JKD, way of intercepting, not way of duking it out. Intercept, 5 points. Okay? Now from there, it's hard to say which is better. There's really not a better. Okay? But I'm going to give a destruction 4 points. Meaning anything that this man does to you, a jab, boom, you blow it away. A thigh kick, boom, you blow it away. High kick, boom. We give that 4 points. If you destroy a limb that comes to you, and you borrow that moment when your opponent is in pain, it makes it much easier to enter and get into trapping range. And remember, this whole VU scale has only one goal. It's like a football play. It has one goal, get past the goal line. Okay? This whole VU scale is only about one thing, getting into trapping range. That's what it's all about. So we can fight outside of our weight class. Okay? So any destruction that comes in is 4 points. Later we're going to give you examples of destructions, but again, this is attributes 3, and we do not want you, we expect you to already know how to punch, how to kick, and how to do destructions. That's why we call it attributes 3. This is not a basic tape. Okay, this stuff should be taken for granted. You should already know the techniques, and now we're just giving you a better training method. Now, number 3. Getting into trapping range is so important, but sometimes you just don't do it offensively. You don't get a good interception in, or you don't get a good destruction in. Okay, Pat, let me borrow you. Okay? But just by virtue of the fact that you're getting into trapping range, I'm going to give you 3 points. So let's say we're moving around a little bit, you jab a few times, bam, bam, and you whip it, okay, boom, and I get right into here, okay? Thanks. I didn't hurt him. I didn't intercept him. I didn't destroy him. So it's not quite as good, but I still give you 3 points because you got past the goal line. So here we are with an entry. Okay? Entry gives you 3 points. Now you got to picture this. Your students are sparring, and you're sitting here and you're going, Bob, Sam, and you're writing down points. Okay? It sounds silly. It sounds like, oh, Vunak is coming up with the points that what's next, a belt system? Okay? But that's not what we're trying to accomplish. Again, all I'm trying to accomplish is to reprioritize in your mind that it's more important to intercept. And when you make a game out of it, you tend to pull it off. Or at least it's been working so far. Now we come to something a little bit more ambiguous, and it's called the fake. There is a concept that allows you to get into trapping range very, very quickly and very good. It's called progressive indirect attack. It's a type of fighting, it's a method of striking, I should say, in which you're progressive and you take up time, but you're indirect in that you take up distance. So if you fake high, you always go low. Or if you fake low, you go back to high. People don't have a tendency to know both lines at the same time. So when they go here, boom, they get hit here. Or if they're faked here, boom, they get hit here. So by virtue of the fact that you faked this guy out, and you fake low and went up and hit him high, I'm not going to just give you a point for the hit. I'm going to give you 2 points because you faked first. If you look into boxing, the best boxers in the world fake well. Between 2 even fighters, the man that will win will be the man that has the better fake. A progressive indirect attack is one of the highest levels of fighting. You can't just come in with somebody really good and duke it out. You can't just slugfest with attack by combination. You need to fake one way and go another way. For this fake, we give you 2 points. Now, our final point system here on the VU scale, it is last and least a strike. 1 point. That's it. I don't really care. Hitting somebody in the face is about the least important thing in winning a fight. I'm talking about this kind of guy now. Okay? It's just not that big a deal. It is a means to an end, but you need a progression. So if you're moving around and all of a sudden you go boom and you hit this guy with a jab, I'm going to go point. You're moving around again. You might hit him with something else, I don't know, thigh kick, whatever. We'll go point. Then you come around again, come in with jab, boom, and you get intercepted. 5 points. So what happens is, you and your school start learning, gosh, intercepting's important, and it's fun, and it makes you able to fight people way bigger than you. It doesn't matter how big they are, when you kick them in the balls before they come into you, again, they tend to go down. I don't see that big person, I just see that set of balls coming in. And when it does, bam, it gets nailed. So when we intercept, we're either at the kneecap, the thigh, or the groin. If he comes with a wild punch here, we'll shuffle in with an eye jab. So intercepting, 5 points. Destroying, 4. Enter, 3. Fake 2 and strike 1. This is our hierarchy. This is our psychology. It's a game. It's a game just to get you to reprioritize what is important. So you stop duking it out. You stop staying in the middle of the ring and slugging it out with each other. And you turn it more into a chess game where you're out here looking at what's coming in. And then, from there, well, that's when the shit hits the fan. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So what I'd like you to do is hang with me. Let's go through this point system. I'm going to take it to you one person at a time, one move at a time. We do things with a progression. Hang in there. Again, we should already know our punches and our strikes, but I'm going to show you a few examples of each one, just so you can train with it. Attributes 3, you should already be through all of this. Okay, we're going to start off with intercepting. Okay, Tom, Patrick, come on up. Okay, sideways. All I want is, Tom, I want you to jab. Patrick, all I want you to do is pat the jab. He's not going to intercept every time because it's not really obvious. So just kind of back up and pat that jab. Okay, maybe the third or fourth one, bam! He's going to come in with a shuffle kick right to the groin. Okay, let's try it. Now that would be 5 points. Keep going. Okay, now, this time when Tom comes in, Patrick, what I want you to do is a thigh kick. Okay, same thing. Break. Now, notice, he is not just arbitrarily thigh kicking Tom. He's waiting for Tom to breach that distance. And when Tom breaches that distance with that weapon, then he is thigh kicking him. That's the difference between an interception and a single direct attack. And that's how you learn to enter Okay, let's try one more. Let's just say the guy at the bar that's drunk, the John Wayne Haymaker. Okay, so Tom, you get to be the drunkard. Okay, just give me a nice swing. When you see that swing coming, you don't wait for it to come, do some kind of block and hit. Just shuffle in, bam, right to the eyes. Okay, ready? Move around. That's it. That's all I want. Boom. Swing one by, slip your head. That's it. Move around a little bit, just like that. That's it. Break. Okay? So, all I'm looking for is for Patrick to see anything that comes in, to keep the correct distance, and to intercept it. Now notice how many tools we used. We used 3 tools. We used the swing, we used the jab, we used the shuffle kick, 4 tools, and the thigh kick. And the reason why we do this is because you cannot learn a training process without a progression. I don't care if it's football, baseball, basketball, I don't care what it is. Why would martial art be any different? You can't just say, here's the technique now. Gosh, I wonder why you can't pull it off. You have to have a training progression to do that. So when we talk about intercepting, you need a training progression to intercept. I love all these JKD guys that write these stories about, oh, well, you don't need to intercept and still be JKD. You just got to be an individual. Yeah, what if you're 400 pounds and sucking on a camel? Are you a JKD man? It doesn't work that way. There are certain things that you have to stick to. You have to occupy center line. You have to intercept. These are things you have to straight blast. Then if you want to be an individual, knock yourself out, flip them, throw them, do what you want with them. Okay? Otherwise, you're not doing JKD. Don't believe that crap. Okay? In order to do JKD, you have to intercept. That's why it's called JKD, way of intercepting. And the most structural, functional thing you can do, come in with a side kick, okay? Right after he, go ahead, boom, comes in, is to blast down his center line. And then, if you'd like to get into penjat, if you'd like to get into judo, if you want to headbutt, knee, and elbow him, you want to lock him up, I don't care what you do. But if you want to be a JKD man, you have to intercept, you have to destroy, and you have to straight blast. There's no other way to look at it. Now let's take our progression and move on. You try it. Now, moving along, let's give you a few examples of how to do destructions. Again, this is not a table of techniques, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. You should already know it. Okay? Each one of these would get you 4 points on the VU scale. Okay, guys, come on out. Okay, they're going to move around a little bit. Again, they're just trying their techniques out. They're moving slowly. Okay? You've got to do this in progression. You can't start banging. You can't go back to your dojo and just say, okay, let's duke it out. Okay, that won't happen. You need to start from a progression. Show me one jab at a time. Now bring in the kick. Now bring in this. Now bring in that. And now speed it up a little bit until eventually you're doing destructions, interceptions. It's not going to happen overnight. Didn't happen for anybody. Okay, for destructions, give me a right-to-right lead. Okay, one of the tools that we fear the most, that's why I showed it to you 5 seconds ago, was this boom, just a nice shuffle kick to the groin. Okay, because I mean, anytime this man tries to get close to me, bam, that thing's going to get hit. Okay, so in order to defend that, all Patrick is going to do is raise his leg. Boom. Notice when he raises his leg, he's not just raising it straight up, so we bang shin to shin, but he's aiming his knee to hit my shin. That way we don't spend 5 hours a day kicking banana trees. Okay, right to right lead, and move around a little bit, and throw the kicks a few times, Mike. Boom. It's an example. These are only examples now. We're not sparring yet. Boom. This is not how we spar. We're doing this syncopated. Okay, now, second one that we worry about quite a bit is the nice boom, that thigh kick. Okay, someone's got a good thigh kick is a dangerous man. Okay, let's do the same destruction. Move around. Go. Okay, that's it. Really turn that baby out. Turn that knee out. Boom, that's it. Good. Okay, the next move that comes up is the high kick. Every time the high kick comes, boom, we just blow it away with the elbow. Okay, Mike, either right or left high kick. Don't tell him which. Now you come to him with a shuffle kick to the groin. Boom. Now go back to him. Boom. Now go back to jab. Come on. That's it. Boom. Okay, break. So we're starting to gradually turn it into a sparring match. Okay? This is going to depend on your students, their level, where they're at, where their techniques, where their basics are at, where their attributes are at. But slowly you have to do this. Otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to be right back in the middle of the ring duking it out. Okay? So we take one thing at a time. These are 3 examples of destructions. Let's work them. Now we have done interceptions, destructions, and now we're going to do the third one, entries. An entry just simply means that you are doing the straight blast down this guy's face. It's always better if you intercepted him first. If you got to poke the eye, or kick the groin, or kick the thigh, or side kick on the kneecap, and then do it. That's why we give you 5 for it. But even just by virtue of you blasting down somebody's face and having them go backwards, okay, that takes timing because you don't want to start it too far out, or you'll be the one getting intercepted. So just by virtue of that, we give you 3 points. Okay? Now again, we're just going to drill this. Okay, come on out. Move around. Right to right lead. Mike, you do the jabbing. Okay? And Patrick, just straight blast. This is an example of what it would look like doing the VU scale if they were sparring. Break. Go back, do it again. You can even run faster backward, Michael. Break. Okay? Now, notice that there wasn't a destruction put in. There wasn't pain put in. It was just a passive entry. But sometimes it's just there, so you got to do it. Okay? So for that, we give you 3 points. Now we're going to move on to the next thing, the fake. Remember, a fake turns a single direct attack into a progressive indirect attack. If you fake high and go low, or if you fake low and go high. And the difference between a single direct attack and a progressive indirect attack is kind of like between a slingshot and an M16, okay? Because you can't fight people with single direct attacks if they're good. Attack by combinations will not work if they're good or if they're bigger than you. But you can always fake one way and kick something else. And then once you kick it, then you can enter. So it's just so important to have a good fake. Any boxer will tell you that. A fake is everything. Okay? So to bring this fake out, all we're going to do is we're going to move around, and Pat's going to fake high, bam, and shuffle kick low. And they move around, then Mike will do the same thing. Fake high and go low. And then fake low and go high. And we work our fake. So the techniques are being worked over and over again. But we haven't even begun the system of fighting yet, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 point system. Okay? First, we're just showing you examples of movements. And then from there, we're going to score people and show you exactly. Okay, come on out. Okay, Mike, you fake high and go low first, right to right lead. Move around, sometimes just a jab, then the fake jab and go low. That's it. Okay, you're up, Patrick. You can go ahead and make contact on the thigh if you want. That's it. We're faking high and we're going low. That's a real jab, that's a fake jab and low. Okay, time. Now, you got to understand, a fake is not a jab that misses. Okay? If you jab, boom, like this, a fake is just this. Back to here. Okay? It's not a jab that misses. You'll have 2 single direct attacks. You want him thinking that the high line is coming, and then he gets hit low. Or vice versa. You fake the jab, boom, and you thigh kick him. Or you fake the jab and kick him in the groin. Or then you fake the groin, bam, and go into the eyes and shuffle. Okay? So you always have the high-low high effect. Okay, one more round, please. Move around. If either one of these guys did this, it would be 2 points on my system. That's it. That's 1 point, because it's 1 kick. That's a fake and a hit. That's 2 points. Okay? Break. Now, we get to what everybody does. Spar. They hit each other. They trade like 2 rock'em sock'em robots. They flip a coin and go, I hope the guy I fight isn't bigger than me. Okay? That's not how it works. Okay? We don't care how big he is. We don't care what he's saying to us. We don't care how mean he is. To me, it's like a little kid running, "Daddy, Daddy." Okay? It's the same mentality. It's a joke. Your heart's not doing this. Okay? You're just back here relaxing, going, "Please, hit me." Boom. "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you run into something?" And then boom, the blast comes, headbutt, knee, and elbow. So when you start to do this system properly, and you fill out all the point system of my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because you've been doing it for about a year, then you don't need it anymore. You throw it out. When you're out in long range, you're relaxed. Your heart's not going a mile a minute. You're not sitting there like this, head hunting anymore. You're out there playing a game of chess. And that's very conducive to being able to enter. And then you go from this relaxed state, again, into this psycho. Because it does you no good to relax when you're close to somebody. You could hit him, he could hit you. That's when you start flying down his throat. That's the point. Okay? Now, let's just come out and... I don't even like to watch this part. Just come out and kickbox. Stay close now. We're just playing, going slow, moving around. Okay, break. See how close they are? Thank you. They can both hit each other. Who's going to win? The guy that's bigger. Okay? Let's put Tyson up against the lightweight. I'll bet on somebody. Okay? So that's the whole point. We can't have that. We have to keep you further away. And when that person encroaches, that's when we intercept. And we can't intercept unless we have a training method that fortifies that, just like anything else. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring my guys out and we're going to actually spar. We're going to take a few tools at a time until we get to all the tools. And I'm going to be the guy scoring points. So you get to see how this is done. So you can do it back when you go home. I want you to be able to score your students. It's a game. It should be fun. It should be a giggly, fun game. Okay? That's the psychology of it. You can't get serious about points. How do you relate a point to a street fight? Okay? But it just reprioritizes your brain. It makes you think. It reminds you all the time. 5. Whoa, yeah. Boom. 1. Okay? So you're always reminding yourself what's important. And what is important is intercepting. A kick comes, boom, you blow it away. Yeah, I feel good about that. Okay? Bam, kick him in the thigh once. That was nice. That's the feeling. For me, example, when I play basketball, I can bust a move, make a nice shot. Doesn't really do anything. When I make a nice pass, that's when I get that feeling. Okay? Well, what I want you to do is I want you to get that feeling when you intercept and destroy. I want that to be important to you. If it's not important to you, you'll never do it. You'll just stay in the center of the ring and duke it out and forever only fight in your weight class. So all I'm doing here with my system is just trying to reprioritize things so they're important to you. Okay? Hang with me. Now that you've seen an example of our hierarchy, okay, 5 points to intercept, 4 points to destroy, 3 points to enter, 2 points to fake high and go low, and 1 point just to hit the person. Now we're going to do it in sparring. But just like every other tape we've ever done, just like every sport, you have to have a progression along with your training method. You can't just train. Back in 1950, football players scrimmaged all the time. Back in the late 50s, they scrimmaged 3 times a week. In the 60s, they scrimmaged once a week. Okay? Now, the Dallas Cowboys scrimmage once every 2 weeks. And the rest of the time, you know what they're doing? They're working on their attributes. Okay? So you can't just get in and duke it out all the time, but what you have to do is you have to separate things. That's why we have things called the part method and the whole method. Now I'd love to say to the guys, okay, get in here, throw all your weapons at each other, destroy each other, intercept each other, and I'll just sit here and score the points. Okay? But you can't do that. It'll never work. You have to take each weapon and break it down first. It may take you a week just to learn how to destroy the jab. Okay? So I'm going to accelerate this for the purpose of the video. However, normally we would do this much longer. Okay? Natter, come on out, and Mike. Okay, now keep in mind, what you're going to be watching is they're going to be sparring, but when I catch a move, I'm going to come over here and score it. And that's how we get to play the game. And then when we're all done, if he's got 10 and he's got 9, he wins. And again, it becomes a game to you, okay? But it's to change your priority, all right? Now, we don't want to just duke it out. We want to do it with a progression. So both guys can spar, but the only thing I'm going to allow them to have is the jab. They can jab high, they can jab low, I don't care what they do, but they can only jab. They can't kick, they can't throw any of the other punches, okay? Jab only. Round 1, and the only thing you can usually do against a jab is either intercept it or destroy it, because it's a very good tool, okay? Let's try it. Move around. That might have been one, I missed it. Destruction, right there. 4. Okay, destruction, right there. 4. Move around, speed up a little bit now. Boom, 1 single kick. Go ahead, speed up, Mike. That's it. Destruction, 4 points. Destruction, 4 points. Boom, almost a destruction. Cut it a little bit high. Can't give you anything for that. Break. Thank you. Okay. Now, I don't care who wins. They don't care who wins. Okay. It's a game. But the point is, we're reprioritizing in your mind what is important. You're not looking to duke it out. You're looking to get a destruction in. Can you imagine if a 6'8" guy punches you with his best shot, and you just go like this? You're going to break his hand. Fight's already over. Okay? Before you've entered and kneed him in the groin and thumbed his eyes. Okay? So the whole point is, you have to destroy. You have to. You have to intercept. Or you have to enter. These things are paramount. And once you're inside, then you can end the fight. So what we have here, we got a couple of destructions, got a few single direct hits, and we got a couple destructions. Okay? That's how we point it. Now I'd like you to try that. Now the next lines of attack, and this is really what we're working, is line familiarization. Being familiar with what is attacking you so you can destroy it. Okay? The next 2 lines are the shuffle kick to the groin and the rear kick to the thigh. Okay? So the knee either goes in or out. We always, if we get a hit in, we always hit. So I'm always going to give you a point for hit. But the main thing we're emphasizing are those 2 moves. Okay? If an interception occurs while that happens, I'm going to give you 5 points. But you're not trying to put it all together. You're trying to just stress those 2 moves on each other. You're sparring. You're not drilling, you're sparring. But you're sparring in a progression. Like A is a drill, B is a harder drill, C starts to spar, D spars a little harder, E adds more weapons, F, until we get all the way up to Z, where you can just blow smoke. But you can't go from A to Z. You will not be blowing smoke, or at least it won't be the kind we need. Okay, so all we're going to do is shuffle kick the groin, outside kick the thigh. That's the only 2 points I'm going to give you guys credit for. We got Lee and we got Tom. I love these 1-syllable words. Okay, ready? And let's go. Boom. 4 points. 1 point. Good. 4 points from 1 point. That's 5.
That's it. That's it. 4 points for the destruction and 4 for the top. Okay, so that's 8. Okay, 4 more points and 1 point for a hit. One more point for one more hit. And 4 points for that destruction there. Okay, break. Okay? See how we're doing it? We're not banging. We're not duking it out. We're not having you throw every single weapon at each other to make it so difficult and you don't pull anything off. We're taking one thing at a time. We're doing it at an accelerated progression for the purposes of the tape. Okay? But when you go home, I want you to do it on your own slowly. Okay? Work with a guy. Spend a whole week just having him try to kick your groin. Go ahead, jab my face, let's put on the gloves and try to kick me in the groin. And pat the jab, move around, bam! And just so you get that line down. Pretty soon, there will be nothing this person can throw at you that will not be destroyed. And you're out in the range long enough that he can't hit you anyway. If this person comes in to step in to hit you, to breach that gap, we intercept them. Either eyes, balls, or thigh, or kneecap. So that's the whole point of the game. If he hits you, it hurts him. If you hit him, it hurts him. And on both occasions, we borrow that pain to do the 50-yard dash right down his center line. Grabbing the back of that head, knee in the balls, thumb in the eyes, headbutt in the face, and then starting to get nasty. Okay? But none of that can really happen unless you intercept and destroy and enter. Okay? Or go through the scale that we have here. So again, this is a game. It's a game. Okay? Maybe one day you have a little trophy and you give it to your kids. Okay? And it becomes a game. But it changes your priorities while you do it. Okay? Believe me, just the word point makes the hair stand up on my head. Okay? I'm not trying to digress to a point system. But I do want to change your priorities. And this is the only psychology I can come up with at the moment. I've been doing it 15 years, flying around the country telling people, intercept, intercept, intercept. And they're going, okay. I come back and they keep kickboxing. Now all of a sudden, we have a system in which you can compete and everybody's intercepting. It's amazing, okay? So what we want you to do is take one tool at a time and work with it. The last tools we used were the shot to the groin and the shot to the thigh. All right, let's give it a try. Now, we're going to continue our progression to boxing. I'm going to stick with the jab and the cross right now. We're starting to slowly speed things up. Okay? This doesn't mean that if this person comes too close to you, you can't, bam, intercept them with a good thigh shot or groin shot. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to give you 5 points for it. Okay? But the main thing is you're stressing 2 tools. Okay? The jab and the cross. We can't put all the tools together at one time, at one moment. Okay? We will eventually, of course. But for right now, we have to do things in a progression. And our progression will be a jab and a cross, and you will watch either interceptions occur or destructions. Okay, Nader, Pat, come on up. Ready? And go. Okay, 4 points. That's a clean destruction right there. Keep going. Nothing was quite clean enough at that point. Go ahead, move around. Throw that in. Throw that in. Boom. Okay, didn't quite turn that knee out for me. I would have given you 4 for that. Boom. There's a 4-point destruction right there. Okay? 4 points on the knee. Keep moving around now. Keep moving around. Loosen up a little bit. Bam. That's 4 points there. He comes in with almost a straight blast, but I can't give it to you. Wasn't quite enough. Okay? That would have been 7. We're moving around. Okay? Don't forget that blast once in a while. Boom. There's a kick. That's 1 point for a kick. Boom. That's a destruction and 3 points for a straight blast. Up on your toes. Moving around. Notice it's a game of chess. Okay? They're figuring out what to do. They're moving. They're thinking. Boom. Okay, break. Now, when I say thinking, that was the wrong word to use. I hope they weren't thinking, okay? I hope they were feeling. I hope they've done this enough times that they weren't thinking, okay? This has to be visceral. It has to be knee-jerk. When some punch comes, you don't block, you don't do this, but boom, you destroy it. Anything that comes in gets destroyed. And if you destroy it and sit there and admire your work while this guy's hopping around, well, that's not going to do you any good either. So you do that destruction. Your next visceral thing is to just straight blast straight down his throat when he's on one leg. Okay? Grab the back of his neck and then, all hell breaks loose. Okay? So this, again, is only to get us into trapping range. That's what Attributes 3 is all about. How to get into trapping range. And again, the best way to get in to trapping range is to intercept, destroy, or enter with a blast passively. Those are the best ways. And if you can fake high and go low, that works wonderful. Now, am I saying that if you just hit a guy with a good right hand, bam, knock him backward, and then that will never work? No, I'm not saying that. One punch might work. One swing might work, okay? But if you're fighting somebody very, very good, very, very unlikely you're going to hit him with a single direct attack. It is very unlikely that you're going to hit him even with an attack by combination. You're going to have to fake high and go low. You're going to have to come up with another formula to do this. Okay, now hang with me. Okay. Now, finally what we're going to do is just put it all together. Okay? Intercept, destroy, enter, fake, and punch. Okay? We're not going to isolate the tools. Again, this is a 1-hour tape. This should take you, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, depending on how hard you work, just to get to this point, to where you're throwing anything at each other and trying to destroy it, and then trying to enter, and then trying to headbutt knee and elbow. Okay? You need to do this in a progression. I can't tell you how important that is. Everybody rushes through that. They just want to just, boom, okay, I got it, let's spar. Okay? Well, we're going to do that now. We're going to spar. But you got to remember, it's an accelerated progression. We're only doing it because of the tape. Otherwise, my students at home, they stay on just destroying that jab for 2 months just by itself. But I guarantee one thing, they can destroy the jab. And that's what's important. So please remember this. Okay? So what you're going to watch is the way we spar in long range. You're going to see interceptions. You're going to see destructions. Okay? If it were real, if the destructions were real, the very next thing that would happen is there would be a straight blast running down the center line. If that eye jab was real and the guy shut his eye and we blast and knee him in the groin, I mean, that's what's going to happen in reality. Here, what you're going to see is a destruction, and it'll be like, oh, that was cool. Oh, nice. Okay? No, that wasn't cool and it wasn't nice. That won your fight. Okay? Imagine coming up to a tree and going, boom, and then trying to fight after that. Okay? So you got to keep reminding yourself that we're just faking it here. But out in the street, this stuff works really nice. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, who do we have here? Mike and Natter. Why don't you come on out? Okay, you get to put all your tools together. Long range, move around, stay nice and loose. 4 points, destruction, Natter. I didn't see that, I was writing. Okay, I saw destruction right there, 4 points. Boom. Okay, destruction right there, 4 more points. Straight blast, 3 points. Boom, kick, another straight blast, 3 points that way. That destruction wasn't turned enough. Boom, fake high and goes low, and a straight blast, okay? 2 for that and 3 for that. Boom, nothing. Boom, nothing, missed it. 1 point, 1 hit. Okay, 1 point, 1 hit. Okay, break. Thank you. Now you see, they're not duking it out. You don't cut the tension in the air with a knife on sparring night anymore. It becomes a chess game. And you have a goal, you have an agenda. What is the purpose? It's, I hit your face as hard as I can and you hit mine, we'll see who wins. That's not the agenda. The agenda is try to intercept, try to destroy, try to enter, get into that range, and when you're so close to somebody that you can throw your head in their face and your knee in their balls, you have a real good chance of winning. Okay? The tough part is getting there. That's why Bruce called it way of intercepting. He and Dan were driving down the street and Dan commented, he goes, you know, Bruce, every time we spar with you, you always seem to just, I don't know, you intercept us before we even go to hit you. Bruce goes, yeah, I do, don't I? Well, what would you call that? And he said, well, in Cantonese, I guess that would be Jeet Kune Do. Okay? And then people say, well, gosh, I'll intercept then. How do you do it? So Bruce writes the book down. He puts on jab, cross, hook kick, round kick. Okay? So people get together and they do those same techniques. And they say, we're intercepting. We're doing JKD. No, you're not intercepting and you're not doing JKD. Okay? You're just kickboxing. Bruce did JKD. Okay? Nobody will ever be like Bruce again. But we can come close. Okay? We can at least do his agenda. Because we have to realize how difficult it is to take a large man out of commission who's swinging wild at you. Unless you get close enough to him that you can slam the top of your head in his face. And it's very, very important. Okay? So now we're putting everything together for you. We're going to go one more round. I want you to pay particular attention to what's going on. Look at this in slow motion. Watch what's happening. It's a chess game. They're not just out there looking to hit each other. Their priorities have changed. They don't care if they hit each other. They care if they intercept each other. And lo and behold, you're going to start doing JKD, way of intercepting. Okay? Tom, come on out. Pat, come on out. Tom and Pat. Okay. Ready? Move around. And go. Loosen up, move around. 1 point. 1 shot. Okay, didn't put that elbow up to destroy it. Straight blast. Boom. Straight blast gives you 3 points. No elbows there, grasshopper. Good. Boom, 1 point. Shot to the groin. Fake, 3 points and a blast. That's 5 point total. 5 point total. Okay, shot to the groin, 1 point. Fake high, go low. Enter, 3 points. Enter again, another 3. Okay? Every time you enter and you grab that neck, I give you something. Okay? If you didn't blast, but at least you got the neck, you get 3 points. Keep going. Boom, 4 points, destruction. And break. Good. Again, that's how we play. We don't even go any harder than that. That's as hard as we spar. Okay? But the idea is there is an agenda there. We're not through the whole agenda yet. Okay? The whole agenda, if we were to be through it, would be right here. I would write the word straight blast right down this guy's throat. Okay? And then over here, I would say grab the back of his neck, thumb his eyes, knee his balls, headbutt his face, and start elbowing. That would complete our agenda. But it's impossible to get to here if you don't do this. It's not impossible, it's difficult. And it's difficult to get here if you don't do this. That's why Bruce intercepted. It's really tough to enter on somebody passively. Try it. Try to just enter on somebody while he's moving around and backing up and boom, 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 hitting you with combinations. That's tough. You need an agenda to get inside to that range. This is our agenda. Now hang with me. Now what I'd like to do is talk to you about, in my opinion, in Bruce's and in Dan's, the least important thing about martial arts, technique. Everybody wants to bring home 1,000 techniques with them. They go to seminars, they take their notes, and they have their techniques. Again, I have every single technique Michael Jordan has, okay? Just not quite as much money. It's not what the technique is, it's how you do it. Now, in this system, it is going to teach us how to enter on an individual. We're going to do the same thing 99% of the time. I used to ask Dan all the time, what would Bruce do when he was sparring with somebody? Bruce would go, oh, he'd actually kick the face, spin kick. I saw him cartwheel and back fist the guy once. I go, you're kidding me. He goes, I said, well, what did he do when he was really serious? Oh, intercept and straight blast. All the time, every time I've ever seen him serious, which was usually once a week. Okay? So that whole point is this interception, and then the straight blast, and then the headbutts, knees, and elbows, that is our foundation. Technique comes from the foundation. You can't put the cart before the horse. You can't make your traps work unless you have a training method, which is our foundation. You need to intercept. You need to blast. How do you enter if this guy's not running backwards? And then you can do your traps. Techniques are for when things screw up in a fight. Again, if you're moving around and some guy goes to swing at you and you go bam and hit him in the eyeball and straight blast down his throat, grab his head, you go boom boom and knee him in the groin, you're going to probably win. You know, that's your, I don't know what to call that. What technique do you call that? Okay, that's how we fight. Now if, Patrick, say in the process of me blasting, I'm coming in hitting his face a few times, boom, boom, and I get some obstruction, well, boom, I might have to trap again. I don't know. I don't know what energy I'm going to get. Okay? I have no clue. But then I go right back to my original theme. That's the point. So the techniques are only there if you screw up. And the screw up only happens maybe, I don't know, 1 out of 50 times. So why spend 90% of your day working on something that happens 1 out of 50 times? I would highly recommend that you go through this system, learn how to truly intercept and destroy and enter, learn how to blast, grab somebody's back of their neck, and learn how to headbutt, knee, and elbow. It's the exact same thing I taught the Navy SEALs. It is a very simple system. And there is no better way to take somebody out of commission. All right, you try it now. Now, as a final close, I just want you to remember a few things. People fight differently due to the rules of how they fight. Thai boxers have their ways of fighting. Wing Chun people have their way of fighting. Western boxers have their way of fighting. Kickboxers have their way of fighting. Savate people fight a little bit different. Ground people obviously fight different. The way you train is going to dictate the way you fight. If it's important to you to intercept somebody, and it should be, and if it's important to you to straight blast them, and it should be, and then grab their head and thumb the eyes, headbutt, knee, and elbow, you need to train that way. If you kickbox and expect to intercept, that's like playing basketball and hoping your chess game gets better. So the whole point of this is our training method and how slow we go with it. So the key point that I always want you to remember is go through everything slowly. This is setting us up for our next tape, Attributes 4, and we're going to show you what to do when we get past the VU scale. Hang with me now. Thank you.